is the end of the day, and I feel like most of you in the room hopefully are aware that you have access to me all of the time, and some of our other lovely guests are just in for the day. So I suppose when we thought about this, there was a couple of things that came to mind. The by and large good season that we've experienced over the last few years, I knocked off at the end of 2019 pregnant and somewhat dishevelled after a couple of long years. But since I've come back from having babies, the seasons have been pretty good. And what that affords us to do is actually look at some of this stuff that's out there. So we've been really lucky that we have been able to work on some research projects and stuff that's used some of this tech. And then the other thing, I suppose, is why I kind of think some of this tech has scope on farm. I don't think there's a producer anywhere that hasn't gone, oh shit, sorry, I have a potty mouth. I'm going to apologise that, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? I don't think there's a producer who has any livestock who's ever gone, dang, I thought those animals would have done better. You've got them in to weigh them and you're like, eeh. Or, you know, in good times, you've got them in to weigh them and gone, oh, they look like the steak I got slammed with yesterday and they've gone over fat and I'm going to get docked and that's 10-cent penalty. So I think there really is a lot of scope for some of this stuff. And I've tried to stick to ones, I've just picked two that are sort of, I suppose, getting more and more mainstream. And the first one is in-paddock weigh systems. The old walkover weigh technology's been around for a long time. I know when I was in Queensland, we were using weighbridge into trap yards and things like that. Awesome, gets every beast in the mob because they've got to come into water and stuff if your paddocks allow it. But it's a tractor and a two-person job to move panels and all of that sort of stuff. So we've seen the emergence of some slightly more portable technology over the last few years. And I think there's merit there. Our dairying friends have the advantage of being able to get instant feedback. So what they feed today is reflected in tomorrow's milk. Whereas for beef, a person I really respect once said to me that he thought possibly the best stock people in the world, in the room, wherever, they're probably capable of judging to about half a body condition score. So probably, and I think that's probably bang on. Like I think it probably takes half a body condition score before you notice a weight change. If you say a body condition score is 30 to 50 kilos, depending on what sort of animals you've got, that's 15 kilos that may have been lost before you've actually realised. So I think there's merit in this. We've been using this technology since 2018 in fieldwork. Obviously didn't do much. We parked it in a feedlot actually in 2018-19. But the cool thing about it is you get daily updates and you're able to really measure a mob. And even we've been pretty surprised with some of this stuff. That's an example of the graph that you get out of it. And this is just weight gain on some, they were steers on oats. So you can see it's on the 7th month. And we can see here if I can get it to play. No, and I can't. How do I get that to play? Oh, it was playing, sorry. You can see what the rolling weight's done. So a couple of days in here, everything went backwards. And weather, it was weather, inclement weather. We had some fantastic data early on from a producer at Maules Creek, some heifers on tropical pastures, so through that December, January, February. And every dip in weight gain, so average daily weight gain, was attributed to a weather event. Probably something that we generally don't think of. So, you know, he had those cattle booked in for turn-off based on the predicted weight that they were doing. He didn't account for those few days where we had those really intense summer storms, everything went backwards and then had to recover. And you can imagine, like Pete touched on before, your glycogen bucket and stuff like that, that's going to affect all of that. So if you know that, I mean, maybe your booking agent isn't that flexible and stuff, but at least it gives you that data there. Those systems cost about 17 grand, I think. If you divide that by $4 a kilo of...
A lot of the tech farms of the future stuff, you can get them cheaper too.
Oh yes, you can get a rebate too if you're smart. So it brings it back. I think I did the maths divided by $4 a kilo, which is sort of the going weight at the moment for a live weight. Brings it back to 4,250 kilos, something like that. That pays for itself pretty quickly. When we think about how much it costs to put a kilo on versus if we have to put that kilo back on again once it's lost. So I'm a big advocate of those. I think there's definitely benefit in that tech space. The other one, which some of you may or may not be aware of, if you have an MVD and you sell livestock through that MVD, you default, whether you know it or not, have a MyMLA account. Through that MyMLA account, you have access to some satellite tech at the moment for free. I will just play that. This is straight from the MyMLA login. You scroll down and you get the feed-based monitor. If I pause it there, if I'm quick enough. I just punched in Tamworth, so 2340. And that's satellite imagery calculated feed, so kilos of dry matter per hectare over time. So you can see this is 2025 up to April, and obviously some of the aforementioned years down here. Free, it's there. I think it's worth looking at. If we then go on, we can look at all different towns. Yep, I fluffed about on screen there for a while. And then the other thing you have access to is the SIBO Labs. It is the free platform, but it's the feed database, I think they call it. So I've just used the demo farm here in this video, but you can set it up to your own farm. And it will give you satellite imagery and then pasture biomass. So kilos per hectare, not very much, down to a lot. It's got a little bit fancier over the last couple of months, in which it'll do dead pasture and green pasture. You can pay to upgrade that and get a much higher, I'm going to say much higher resolution, but a much more detailed. So I think that works on a metre squared rate, and it gets smaller, so you can get more accurate data should you do it. And it goes all the way back to January 27 to now. Photos are taken sort of generally once a month, maybe a little bit more. And yeah, like I said, it's free at the moment for anyone that's an MLA member. And I think there's merit in that. There is another one that's free also at the moment, created by the guys at the Drought Hub that are now called the Innovation Hub, sorry. It's Ag 360, little bit different concept. So it's much more of a data input sort of a system, and it's running on soil moisture. So some of the stuff that Sean was talking about. You can map out your farm paddock by paddock, and set up sort of production targets, estimated kilos of dry matter and stuff per hectare. Again, it's free and possibly worth a look at. That was my short and sharp introduction to a couple of things that I think are probably, look, I think at best there's a real opportunity to use some of these tools to make more money, to capitalise on your production. I don't think tech will ever replace the need for good management and good people. I think about that quote, you know, we do owe our existence to the fact that it rains and we have a little bit of topsoil.